Good morning, and we'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. So, my message to you this morning is that it appears to me that Tucker Carlson, who I like, is being used to cover up the Minnesota hit. Now, as you know, as soon as this Minnesota hit started, like I think the day or the next day, I think I gave it a couple days and I did a video and I told you that Vance Bolter is a CIA contractor. Okay. Vance Bolter is a CIA contractor. So when I and this look, you can't just get a police car. It's ridiculous. So I don't want to make a long video, but I just want I want you to have this in your mind. I want people to have this in their mind. Tucker Carlson is being used either knowingly, and I think it's knowingly, or unknowingly to cover up CIA black ops. Tucker Carlson, because he has so much credibility in the public, because he's so loved by the American people, including by me. I like Tucker Carlson, but I can tell watching this interview that he's not really pressing any of these questions. He's just sitting there listening as if it's some kind of a commercial as he interviews this lady from Minnesota who's a so-called journalist that got all this information. And what she does in the interview is she makes a point to show how here's what you have to understand. The idea behind the interview is not to give you a lot of information, but make you think that this was just some crazy guy that just did all this stuff on his own. Get it? It's just some guy that just, there's all these unanswered questions and nobody really knows, but it just seems like he didn't really have a career. Like you got to understand, you have to understand. Vance Bolter got caught in a botched hit. And there's all these unanswered questions. And so when the journalist comes out and talks to Tucker Carlson on the show, she goes into how there's all these unanswered questions, but they don't lead anywhere. And it's just that he's like at the end of the thing, you don't really have any more information. I didn't watch the whole interview because it was so horrible. As somebody who is a data analyst, I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it because I know how to analyze data. I know how to use logic. And I couldn't watch it because the lady who he was interviewing was being so illogical. And I could see, because I know how the CIA does this shit. I've been watching it for so long. I know how they take an event and then they want to cover it up. So it's not that they don't talk about it, but they talk about it in a way that nothing leads anywhere. And then you're left with all these suspicions, but no evidence of anything. And it's just a confusion. See, as I was going through that process in the interview, I turned it off. But you have to understand what I'm telling you. Tucker Carlson is a shill. I'm sorry to tell you that. I know it hurts. I like Tucker Carlson. I don't want that to be true. I'm not telling you that because I hate Tucker Carlson. No. I think Glenn Beck is an obvious shill, and I don't like Glenn Beck. But see, the whole thing about a Tucker Carlson is that he is so well liked and so admired, and he has so much credibility because he's believing or something. It's because he's so aligned with a certain segment of the population that he becomes the perfect CIA message center, right? Now that he has all this credibility, now he can deliver a message and it's believed. So this isn't the first time he's done this also, as far as I can tell. He had a 9/11 whistleblower on that said nothing. Okay. He had a 9/11 whistleblower that I couldn't even, you got to understand. I was involved in all the 9/11 stuff since 2005. Okay. I didn't really look at it before that because I wanted to believe in George Bush. But once I got into it, I got into it. And I was part of the 9/11 Truth Group. We did all kinds of stuff. We had mass distribution of information. We had actual DVDs. We had meetings. We had big. Okay, I don't want to go into it. I'm just saying, when he interviews this 9/11 whistleblower guy, it wasn't even worth watching. That's how they do it. This recent interview that Tucker Carlson does with this lady about this so-called journalist in Minnesota isn't worth watching because you're not going to learn anything. She's just there to muddy the waters. Okay. You have to understand that's a CIA tactic. It's not that they don't talk about the subject. It's not that they don't bring up suspicions. It's that those suspicions don't go anywhere and they don't have any answers. and it doesn't really lead to anything. And all the things that you thought maybe it really isn't, because he's just this big nobody and nobody knows anything. And he wasn't connected to the CIA and his security agency that he ran, his private security, where he went all around the world. You have to understand, okay? I have a friend who's an engineer and a chemist, and he decided to go to Japan one time to handle a big catastrophe that they had over there when they had a Fukushima thing go off, right? So he just talked to people from Japan, and then he went to Japan, and he came back from Japan. And when he came back from Japan, he had a CIA officer show up at his office. It is where he works, at his shop, to talk to him about what he talked about in Japan. You got to understand, every communication that you have that goes overseas is monitored by the National Security Agency and the CIA. They share information. You can't travel to the Congo and not be monitored by the CIA. And he's working for a security firm. You have to understand that this whole thing of being a pastor and going around, these pastors, and they go around the world and they spread Christianity, and they're from Washington, D.C. It's all run by the CIA as a cover story. So he's involved in a security firm. He's supposedly a pastor. He's dealing with people in the Congo. He's dealing people in Eastern Europe, which likely means Ukraine, or maybe Romania, or maybe somewhere over there, Kosovo. I don't know. So, you know what I mean? This isn't, and so, but on the Tucker Carlson, that just didn't lead anywhere. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that was all fake. That's what this journalist that's on Tucker Carlson wants you to think, that was just that they didn't have any customers. Oh, they didn't have any customers. So he had the security firm that he was in the Congo. That was real, but he was just a pastor, and he has a security firm, and he was in the Congo. So he did travel overseas, but he didn't have any customers. Okay, so this isn't making sense. And Tucker Carlson sits there like I like Tucker Carlson, but he just sits there and like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. What do you think? See, this makes me think that he's being paid to have these people on. It's not like he just finds these, some people he finds interesting. Okay. I don't hate Tucker Carlson. Some people he finds interesting. Tucker Carlson has real views. Okay. I'm not saying his views are fake. What I'm saying is, because he has so much credibility, that gives the CIA, the Black Ops people, a way to get their message out through Tucker Carlson, because he is so well liked, because he has so much credibility, because he is so admired. People believe Tucker Carlson because they like him, and his views are real. When he interviewed Ted Cruz, I think that was real. When he interviewed Mike Pence, that was real. He has real views. This is why the CIA or whoever is running these Black Ops can then use him as an avenue to keep the waters muddied when it comes to CIA Black Ops, when it comes to 9/11, when it comes to the Vance Butler hit. Okay. Vance Butler is a CIA contractor. That whole angle got covered up by Tucker Carlson. He allowed it to. And the lady that he came in was there to do that. This was a paid advertisement for the CIA. So I don't want to, there's nothing else I can say, so I'm not going to make a long video about it. But he did the same thing with 9/11, having this, he interviewed that guy who's the CIA, no, the 9/11 whistleblower. So he did that one. And that was recent. Okay, that was like a month or so ago. So I'll just finish off with this. Because Tucker Carlson has the same views that I have on a lot of things, and is right about a lot of things, and has the same views about Iraq, Iran, Ukraine, all this different stuff that's going. See, we share the same views. This makes him the perfect person to use to cover CIA tracks, because now you're hearing it on the Tucker Carlson show. So, Tucker Carlson, he's the guy we all trust now. You see, that's how it works. They don't care if you want to believe all this stuff about Gaza or you're against the war. They already know that there's going to be a certain segment of the population that doesn't like the war in Ukraine, that doesn't like this thing over here. And Tucker Carlson now represents those things. So he's the perfect guy for the CIA to hire through some kind of buffer, most likely. I mean, is he doing this knowingly or unknown? I don't know. He's getting paid. It looks to me like he gets paid to advertise these ideas on his show that are designed to muddy the water. So that's my message. Have a great day, and keep your eyes open, because people that you like Tucker Carlson, are going to be the ones that they use to lie to you, because they know you don't believe. They know you're not going to watch, Rachel Maddow and believe anything she says, but you'll listen to Tucker. And now that's going to be on Tucker's show. And now you'll be like, oh, okay, well, I guess the Vance Boltler guy was just some loony toony guy that just acted alone. See? It's absurd. So Tucker Carlson is really, I think, even though I like him, I'm actually quite suspicious of him now. And I'm very disappointed in him. And that's the end of the video.